Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, Danielle, let me know. Holy cow, now I'm getting so bright in here that I'm going to get a tan. I got a tanning light on. All right. You can see me, a little dark. How about now? A little lighter? What's up, Angela? Okay. Here we get ready here. Let me see. You can see and hear me. Thank you, Peter. Diane, Daleen. Really cool to see everybody. Hope everyone's doing amazing. Little different backdrop to tonight. Out at the ranch. Not at the beach. Although I love the beach. Be heading back to the beach tomorrow. Beautiful weather at the beach. And actually beautiful weather out here at the ranch. A little bit warmer. So hopefully you guys are doing good. I like to tell everyone to catch their breath. Take a couple deep breaths. And get ready to hear some amazing, fantastic info to help you out. We're talking about balance, a sleeping giant. So much to offer, and it's not that, I don't know, I guess that product's not as talked about as much. The results are talked about, but it's not that quick hitting, right? Let me just try it. This, it's not mojo. It's not soothe. It's not life. You don't just feel it immediately, right? So, but it has so much to offer. It's just, I don't think we understand what it is and how powerful it is. So we'll dive in. You guys take some notes if you want, if you can. And I'm going to give you lots of little pieces of information. I think that'll be very helpful when you're sharing balance from Tranont. And people need it. We all need it. So here we go. All right. I have so much info. I'm trying to think, where do I want to start? We're going to talk about balances, which is our whole food, vitamin, mineral, antioxidant product. Vitamins, as you know, are critical to the human body, as are minerals, as are antioxidants. And I think there's so much information out there that can be a little bit confusing. I want to clear that up for everyone so you know what to say to when you're talking to folks and where to go, if they have a question. So I think I'm going to start with synthetics and whole food. That's probably the biggest differentiator out there. There is so many different studies now. For the last couple decades that we've been teaching and preaching this. There wasn't as much research. There was some, but now it's all over the place. So people are really getting used to, what is a synthetic? They don't really know, but they've heard the term whole food, and it may have been they heard the term from just whole food, the store, right? The grocery store, Whole Foods. And so here we go. So when you talk about vitamins, we always want to talk about what we do, which is whole food, versus what most do, which are synthetically created vitamins. You'll even hear studies out there say that, too much of this vitamin or that vitamin could be bad for someone, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, that's true if it's synthetic, but not too much food, vitamins from food. That's silly. That's not the case. So keep that in mind. There's some crazy statistics out there. There's some crazy things to think about, and I'll tell you some of those. One of the things I remember is the U.S. Department of Agriculture surveyed like 21,000 people, and it was crazy that not one of those people, not one in the 21,000, had enough in their body of the 10, like the daily allowance of the 10 most important nutrients in the body. Not one person. I mean, that's like, whoa, not one person met the needs, right? And remember, as we talk about this, keep in mind, we like to say compliments. Tylene and I like to say compliments, not supplements, right? We like to compliment what we're eating or not eating, or what nutrients we're getting or not getting, and that's for a variety of reasons. Did you know that 97% of the American population, 97%, they do not eat they don't have a balanced diet that they're regularly consuming to give the body the nutrients that it's looking for. So let's talk about this whole food versus synthetic thing. You hear us talk a lot about vitamin C, and that's because vitamin C is probably the most common, popular vitamin out there, and people can relate to that. And so when you're looking at supplements, when you're looking at vitamins, and you're looking at labels, you always want to look at, next to that vitamin, what is the source? So typically most vitamin C products out there, as an example, and we can talk about others, you'll see ascorbic acid. And if you've heard us before, ascorbic acid is typically corn syrup and hydrochloric acid. And as we like to joke, none of us are corn syrup deficient, right? And so when it says vitamin C as ascorbic acid, you know instantly, automatically, that it's synthetically made. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means they're using this corn syrup and hydrochloric acid to create a fraction of what a real vitamin C molecule would be. When you're getting vitamin C from food, it's whole. And there's other factors that make up that vitamin C molecule. And I don't want to get into all the detail, but there's kind of 4 pieces basically of that pie. And so when the body doesn't recognize these synthetic vitamins, maybe you've heard this before, it doesn't know what to do, so it starts to do things to make that vitamin whole so it can utilize it, like pulling from your hair, your skin, your nails, your bones, whatever it is, which isn't very good. We don't want that. We don't want those things to happen. And there's all kinds of negative things that research and studies show if you're using or people are using synthetic vitamins. And most people just don't know this. They don't know that, when you're taking a synthetic form of, let's say, vitamin C, like we're talking about, that you're getting hardening. The arteries are starting to harden. Okay, that's not cool. That's not a benefit. They don't know that when you're taking, let's say, vitamin E, that's in a synthetic form, that can cause a toxic reaction in the body. I mean, these and then it actually blocks other nutrients that are trying to be utilized in the body. These types of things are not good. Vitamin A, that's another one which just blows my mind. Maybe you've heard this before from us. Vitamin A from palmitate, right? So that would be a synthetic form of vitamin A. We don't do that, which is known to cause birth defects. Okay, well, why would we want that if we were pregnant? Did you know that most prenatal vitamins have vitamin A from palmitate? That's pretty interesting to me. Most of the moms-to-be don't know this. And the challenge is, maybe if they do know this or recognize this, they may ask their doctor, their pediatrician, what have you, okay, doc, why am I taking this prenatal with these synthetic, there's vitamin A from palmitate? And usually the doctor will respond with, well, there's not enough in there to do any damage or harm, which is nonsense, because they don't know what that mom-to-be is doing when they leave that office. Sure, they may be getting a certain amount of vitamin A from palmitate out of their vitamin or prenatal vitamin supplement, what have you, but what else are they eating throughout the day? And so many of the foods we're eating are enriched and fortified. When you read that on these packages, enriched and fortified, you guys, that's synthetic, right? These are not enriched and fortified whole food vitamins. These are enriched and fortified with a bunch of poo, the synthetic stuff. And so now those numbers can go over, and now there's those potential issues because they're getting too much of this vitamin A from palmitate. So it's just critical that we understand the source of our vitamins and our minerals, right? So I'm talking about vitamins right now, but even with minerals, you have to have a good form of minerals, and we use chelated minerals, and there's patents on this chelation process. We chelate in such a way that really the body is going to take or not take. Hold on, it looks like my video's going away. Bear with me. Not sure. Let me know, you guys, in the comments if what you see, because all I'm getting is a message and a black screen from Facebook right now. Maybe they heard these things I'm saying, they don't like it. Let's see here. Okay. I don't know. I'm saying it's having trouble. So someone let me know on there if you can still see me and hear me, because I'm getting a message saying it's having trouble playing the video. So let me know if that's the case, just in case I need to start all over. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. Thank you, Danielle. I'm good. All right. I don't see myself, so I'll talk to this black screen. That's kind of weird. Okay, so where was I at? What were we talking about? Talking about our poor forms of vitamins and minerals. So even our minerals need to be a good form, right? So as an example, calcium. If you get this poor form of calcium, it's basically you're eating your kid's chalk, right? I mean, it's silly. It's silliness, and so why would we want to do that? Why would we want to spend money? Why would we want to put these things into our body? But that's what these vitamins and supplements are. You guys, over 90% of all the vitamins and supplements that I researched, that I looked at over the years and still do, they're still using bad forms, either synthetic vitamins, poor forms of minerals. Minerals are just rocks, but minerals can become toxic, right? You have to have a good form there. You want the body to know what it's doing. And when I said the word, speaking of minerals, when I said chelated, you can chelate in different ways, and people have jumped on that bandwagon of chelation. Sometimes they'll say chelated, on their label. Well, what are they chelating with? And you look at it a little deeper, and they're chelating with fructose. They're trying to force something into the body. We don't want that. And just so you know what chelation is to claw. So if I could see myself on the screen, maybe you can see me. I don't know. I can't see me. So if I had someone grab me on this side and grab me on this side, they're chelating me. Okay. So when we're chelating these minerals, we're escorting them into the body. We're chelating with the amino acid glycine, and we're just allowing the body to decide at that particular time if it wants, whatever it is that they're eating. Or in food, it decides what do they want, what does your body want and need at that time. Well, when you supplement, we want your body to have the same decision, right? We don't want the body to have anything forced into it. And so we talk about that, and I've done different little scenarios before about eating spinach or whatever it is, and so whatever minerals, let's say I'm getting from that food, if it's calcium, let's say we're already talking about calcium. Let's say you and I we went out and we had a meal, and in that food, whether it's spinach or whatever it was, let's say it was calcium that was in there, our body would decide if it wanted it. And if you sat around on the couch all day and you didn't need it, and let's say my body needed it for whatever reason, I was out running around all day or in the sunshine or working out or whatever it was, my body would take and absorb that. So that's the concept. We don't want to force things into the body. We certainly don't want to force minerals into the body. We want the body to utilize what it wants at that particular moment when it's consuming something. So keep that in mind. It's just a really, really big deal. Because again, give the body what it needs, and then let the body decide what it's going to do with it and when and if it needs it at that particular moment. That's very different than, force feeding the body into something. So I don't know if people understand that these vitamins are all critical to us, and these different nutrients are so critical. Magnesium does, a few hundred different things in the human body. There's a rippling effect with that, right? And so if we're not getting our, enough magnesium into our body, that could affect up to 300 different things. Well, that's not good. And so being deficient of even just one little vitamin can cause you issues, right? Because especially if you're, or a nutrient or whatever it is, whether it's a mineral, vitamin, some sort of nutrient, if we're deficient in that, now we can create a whole host of things that can go wrong, right? So if you don't have enough vitamin A, what's going to happen? Well, eventually you're probably not going to be able to see anymore, right? That's what vitamin A. So what would be a good source of vitamin A? We mentioned palmitate was bad, but when you're getting it from food, you don't see studies saying you're eating too many carrots, and that's bad. That's toxic for the body. That's not the case. So I want you to really understand synthetic versus whole food. That's what this is all about. You've heard us talk even like whole flower, whole plant, even like with Soothe and the entourage effect. It's no difference when you're in nature with foods and plants. and fruits and vegetables, because that's what's delivering what we need. That's what's delivering the goods, because they all work synergistically. They all work together. When we create this nonsense in these labs, it's very difficult for the body to know what to do with them, and then we're causing other issues. So it's really, really weird. And I mean, let me see if we talked about vitamin A, like the birth defects. We get enough bad, right? So why do we want to put more in if it's bad? We don't. We get enough bad already in our food and in different things that our environment and so on and so forth. Yes, Tyler, you're saying trickery. Right on, man. It is total trickery, which is not cool. It's not good. I don't know why people continue to do it, and the only reason I would say they do is because they don't know. They just don't know. They don't know the difference of a synthetic versus whole food. And it's really simple. So you just have to explain the difference between food. Like for example, if you looked on the balance label, you'll probably see acerola cherries. Maybe that could be our source, right, of our vitamin C. And that's what you want to see. You want to see these foods, these fruits, these vegetables of what is that source coming from? Excuse me. If you see a word you don't recognize, it's probably not a good thing for the most part. If you can't pronounce it, there's some different things, different sources. But when you get these synthetic things, and remember, you can't patent nature. That's part of the problem. But you can patent chemicals. And when people, that's just a huge, huge business of patenting these chemicals out there. All right, so there's so many different things, man, that I could go to. I just want you to really drive home the whole food vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. We need all these things. Did you know that the digestive enzymes work better when you're taking balance? Okay, most people, they don't know that, right? Did you know that when I was mentioning one deficiency, you could create major issues in the body? And I mean, like, one nutrient deficiency could be fatigue, it could be depression, it could be autoimmune, it could be cholesterol, it could be high blood pressure. These are things that people are dealing with, right? This is what people are overwhelmed with, all these different health issues, and they're trying to prevent these things. Like we always say, let's prevent, and then they're also trying to help the body get back into that state of balance, right, to get everything functioning correctly. So did you know that there's an 80% chance of becoming overweight if you're deficient in basic nutrients? An 80% chance of people becoming overweight because they're deficient in nutrients. Okay, so pretty much everyone has shown now that, and everyone agrees, we need these nutrients. What they don't understand is that you get them from food and plants and fruits and vegetables, all these things that we're talking about. You don't need to try to get them from a synthetic source, because now you're creating another rippling effect of not so good results, and we don't want that. So, when you're taking vitamins from foods, there's studies out there that'll show things like, cardiovascular disease, right? Those issues, you reduce the risk, and there's studies out there, and we don't run around selling this, but I'm just letting you know that when you have enough nutrients that are from food, from plants, not synthetic, there's all kinds of studies. You can find these studies, and it reduces your risk of cancer, reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease when you're taking these and getting these vitamins, these nutrients from a food source, right? And part of this whole problem is the soil, right? Why do we need to supplement, or like we like to say, complement? I can simply tell you it's because we don't get the nutrients out of the food we eat anymore, even if we're eating pretty good. We try to eat healthy. Well, if the soil's not what it used to be, which it isn't, then all of a sudden we're eating those foods that were growing in that soil thinking we're doing a good thing. Well, we're still deficient. So we still need to complement, supplement, right, to get more of those nutrients that our body's looking for. It's wild. It's 2020. I can tell you there's a study, we've been doing this a couple decades. This is probably 2010-ish. There was a study that it talked about you would need Average American, what do we eat? I don't know, a couple thousand calories a day, whatever it is. You would actually need over 27,000. It was like 27,500. Don't quote me on that. Very close to that. Calories worth of food a day to reach the recommended daily allowance of vitamins that is out there. None of us are going to eat 27,500 calories in a day. Sounds kind of fun, maybe if it was pizza or something you love, but right, it's just not impossible. So what's my point? My point is we're not going to get the nutrients from the food, even when we're eating good. I'll give you another story. We used to get our vitamin C years and years ago from cabbage, and it was out of California. And when making these, Tylene dealing with these formulations and whatnot, and all of a sudden, these cabbages, that soil, that farm is just turned over so many times. All of a sudden, it was testing with no vitamin C. It was deficient. It was gone. It looked like cabbage, and it tastes like cabbage, right? But the vitamin C was gone. It was void. So we had to switch to something else, right? So we can make sure the sourcing was there. And when you're making a vitamin, a supplement, when you're in this industry, it really is about your sourcing, making sure you have good nutrients, making sure, it's clean, so on and so forth. But that's how powerful the soil is. So we've gotten this way, A, from the soil, B, from not eating so good, right? And it's caught up to us that it's really, really difficult. When you talk about, whole food supplementing, I want you to think about this. If you've ever gotten a product from somebody or you're with someone and they have their vitamin there or something, I like to just shake the bottle, because most of these, tablets or pills or whatever it is people are taking, they're so hard. It sounds like a rattle, like a baby rattle. It's loud. They're so hard. They're hard pressed, which means it's so denatured. The body can't even absorb it anyways. It can't even use it. I get a funny story on that. We had a friend in Arizona back in the day. We were talking about this same kind of concept, and he brought in a buddy of his, and we were talking about this, what I was just discussing. This guy worked in one of those porta john companies, and he was talking about after these biathlons or marathons or whatever event it was, that they dump all these porta potties, and then they rake all the poo, all the stuff, and they would just find just hundreds and hundreds of undigested tablets. Ooh, crazy. So these people were wasting their time and money on these hard pressed tablets that weren't even breaking down. They weren't even absorbing. It's nonsense. So you can't think your body's going to know how to deal with that stuff. It isn't. Every one of these capsules in balance, you guys, these are just veggie capsules, right? It's just the delivery system. It's just to keep the nutrients in there. But every one of these capsules has our enzyme, our plant enzyme delivery system, to make sure each and every consumer, their body can break down those nutrients that are in that capsule. That's super cool. So now you're going to make sure you get it. And if you don't like taking capsules, again, it's just a delivery system. Open it up. Put it in your smoothie or whatever. It's just a delivery system, that little veggie capsule. But the good news is when you take these veggie capsules, they're just going to break down real easily. And now you can utilize what you're trying to get from supplementing. Russ, I was looking at some of these studies. There are studies you're saying show you'd have to eat 10 apples a day to get the equivalent of one apple from the 50s. And you'd have to eat 50 bowls of spinach, right? I've seen this before today, to get equivalent of one bowl from the 50s. Do you guys understand? I think it's Dr. Russ on there. Now, I can't see perfectly with these glasses and my screen, but you guys, this is what's real. The nutrient value, starting from the soil all the way through to the end, to that end product, it's just void. It's so different than it was back in the day when grandma and grandpa, right, were out there doing their thing and eating their foods and their fresh foods. It was just really, really different. And when you look at taking and supplementing, a good way of taking like balance I believe in the research that we've done, it is always good to kind of spread those nutrients out through the day. I think the body utilizes them better, right? And so you can take more. Some people take 3 capsules in the morning. Heck, I take, right now with everything going on out there, I gotta be transparent with you. I take a bunch of these things. I take 3 at a time, 2 at a time, 2-3 times a day. So I've upped what I'm doing, especially if I'm being more active. There's just a lot of things going on out there. I want to be as strong as I can be. I want zinc, right? With the things that are going on out there. I want to give my body everything I can potentially give it to take care of it. And that's really what I want you to be thinking about, in all the people you love and care about, and complete strangers, like we said, Ty and I always say, who are we to judge who we're going to help? That's a silly thing. We want to help. We should want to help everyone. If we're loving human beings that cares about people, and that's what this is really about. So you don't have to sell this. You need to simply share with people that our food is nutrient deficient. Even if they're healthy eaters, it's still nutrient deficient. And you can go back to the soil. You can talk about what Russell's talking about there with these studies or what have you. This is not hard. This is not difficult. When you cook your food, we don't only just kill the enzyme, right? The enzyme activity, but we're also depleting like half, right, of the nutrient value. Sometimes, like some of these vitamins, etc., minerals, whatever. We're really depleting the value that was in that whole food to start with when we heat it. Typically heat kills. So you have to remember that. I'm not saying eat all fresh and living food. The more fresh and living food you can eat, the better. But we're all going to eat some cooked food, most of us, right? It's difficult to go raw. And I have seen some people in Tranont that have worked with Tylene on eating all raw, just to see what would happen, because we like to say, hey, you go all raw, no one will even recognize you. It's not easy to do, but that kind of helps people become the best version of themselves, or to reset themselves moving forward. So hopefully you guys can take some of this info. I don't want to keep going. What time is it? I'm just rambling here with stuff. It's about that time to hang up or jump off or whatever it is. I don't even know, since I'm on a black screen. You guys just go like just talking to a black screen, and it's kind of weird. I used to have a radio show, and that's what this feels like right now. I'm just talking, but at least I got a little bit. I know there's some people out there, because I could see some comments coming in. And, yeah, Pamela, people waste a lot of money on garbage products out there. And that's really frustrating for people. And that's, it's hard. It's hard. And that's our job. That's our role, is let's share this with people. Let's have them try these products. They need these products. And now more than ever, people are looking for product. Look, I just was looking at that vitamin A thing earlier, just to see what was going on out there. You guys, many of these top selling vitamins for prenatals, as an example, there's still vitamin A from palmitate, known to cause birth defects. They're still in there. So remember, when you're buying supplements, tell people this. When you're buying your food, you cast your vote every single time. We keep buying all this poo out there. They're going to keep feeding it to us. They're going to keep selling it to us. I mean, it's not right, man. And so we have to share this information. Keep it simple. This isn't difficult. Just because balance isn't that I'm going to feel something right now, like like Soothe or Mojo or whatever it is, life, because that usually can eat a meal, and a lot of people feel that right now. But just share information, and people need what you have. They need to know you have it. And I'll tell you what, people would rather buy from you than help some of these big box businesses out there. People are really into helping each other. So help people. Allow them to see what you have, share it with them, and also, why not generate the revenue? I mean, I'm still in shock. I'm going to be very honest with you. I'm still in shock that Tranont is doing 50% commissions. That is unbelievable to me. You guys need to know, people didn't do that. We used to have people they would buy thousands and tens of thousands of dollars of these whole food supplements from us to get a 40 to 50% return or discount on that product. These are doctors. These were stores. These were gyms. These were, all these different places. That's the truth. And so now, what do you guys have to buy? You have to buy anything unless you want to be healthy, and just share the information. Send your link out. and make that weekly 50% commission check. So you guys, hopefully you pick some things up. Remember, it's about whole food versus synthetic. We're whole food. There's wonderful antioxidants in balance. You know, so you got the vitamins, the minerals, the antioxidants. They're just wonderful. Look at that. That formula's even gotten better since we started in the beginning. We've got it better and better and better. And Tranont, I applaud Tranont for that. That's super cool. So you've got everything. I'm just checking to see, is there anything else I really wanted to mention to you? I think we're good. I don't want to overwhelm anybody, because you guys, whole food versus synthetic. There you go. That's really what this is about. Soil depleted. We're not getting enough nutrients even when we're eating good, and most people don't even eat good. So the people that don't even eat good, they just need more. So get this product into people's hands. Watch it change their life. You'll listen to the feedback, because you will hear the feedback. It will change a lot of things in their body in a short period of time. You'll see and hear those testimonials. Check Health Wealth Community, and you'll see testimonials in there on balance. So I'm excited to keep doing these with you guys. I'll get Tylene to jump in with me on, we'll get her in here a couple of times. And I know you guys love her, and she's fantastic to have and just share information. I don't remember off the top of my head next week. So tune in next week, Tuesday and Thursday, and we'll come at you with some more good info. And hopefully you guys can just take that and help some other people and generate a revenue stream. Why not? So it's all good. Much love to all of you. Have a great, safe evening. Have a wonderful next few days until we see you again. And maybe I'll see you again at some point. This black screen's freaking me out, seeing nothing. You guys have an amazing evening, and we'll talk real soon. Peace.
When you're born, usually you're born into a dynasty or an empire.
His father's